What's up, interweb? Okay, today we're going to talk about circles and how to find the center and the radius. First of all, the equation of a circle. Why is my big fat hand in the way? The equation of the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. Now, h and k are x and y. They're points on the graph. And we have to use something other than x and y because we already have an x and a y. So we have to use, excuse me, h and k. But remember, they're negative h and negative k. So whatever we come up with, it's going to be the opposite of. Okay, where r is the radius. So that means we're going to have to take the square root of whatever we get here. And the center of the circle, C-E-N-T, is h. Okay, now let me back up and let's talk about what is a perfect square. F-E-C, a perfect square. A perfect square is, for instance, if we have x minus 4 all squared, what does that mean? That means x minus 4 times x minus 4. Right? Same thing twice. And if you were to do the distributive property here, you're going to get x squared minus 8x plus 16. X times x, x squared. Okay. Now, the one thing you want to take from this is, how do we get 16? It's half of the linear. Remember, this is called the linear term. We take half of this, half of 8, and square it. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. That's how we get this. Okay, take half of the linear term and square it. Okay, so what if you're given this? If the circle is x minus 4 all squared plus y plus 3 all squared equals 25, then the center, C-E-N-T-E-R, the center is negative h. Remember, this is h and this is k. But our formula says negative h and negative k. So we're going to have to use the opposites of these numbers. What's the opposite of negative 4? 4. What's the opposite of 3? Negative 3. So that's the center of our circle. And the radius is, remember, this is going to be the radius squared. Therefore, the radius is 5. Right? Right. Okay, let me do another one. If we have x plus 5 all squared plus y minus 2 all squared equals 49. What's the center of the circle? Negative h, negative k. Negative h, remember this one's h, this one's k. So it's going to be negative 5 and a positive 2. And the radius is the square root of 49, which is, I think, 7. Okay? Okay, get this if you're so smart. What if we have x squared plus y squared equals 4? So do we have x minus h? Yeah, we actually do. It's x minus 0, or x plus 0 squared, and y plus or minus 0, I guess I put plus in there, squared equals 4. So what's the center of our circle? If it's not shown on here, it's 0. So our center is 0, 0, and our radius is 2. Oh, sorry. I'll do better. Okay, now we're gonna have to back up a little bit here, because how do we get to this? How do we get to these equations? We have to use completing the square. Completing the square is semi-important. That's actually pretty important. Okay, let me get some. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when we're completing the square, I'm just going to do one of the variables, just x, but in a minute we're going to have x and y. So if you have this, if you have x squared minus 4x minus 13 equals 0. Now the first thing you want to do when you're completing the square, now typically if we want to solve this, we want to set it equal to 0. But when you're completing the square, move the constant to the other side. We'll get x squared minus 4x, add 13 to each side, equals 13. Now, in order to find a perfect square, we take half of the linear term, half of 4 is 2, and then we square it. X squared minus 4x, okay? Half of 4 is 2. Half of 4 equals 2, and then we square it. 2 squared is, that's a bad example here, sorry, equals 13. Now look, we just added 4 to this side of the equation. Remember from day one in this class, and I'm sure in your other class, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side, or it's not an equation anymore. So, excuse me, we added 4 to this side of the equation, so we have to add 4 to this side of the equation. Now this is a perfect square because we just made it one. We forced it into being a perfect square. And that is x, because the linear term's negative, minus, what is it, 2? All squared equals 17. Okay, that's how we make perfect squares out of this. Then take a drink of your Diet Coke. Okay, let's do another one of these. I know at first it seems like, what the hell is going on here? This boy's stupid. Yeah, he knows. So x squared plus 6x plus 1 equals negative 2. Okay, the first thing we do is we move the constant to the other side. So we get x squared plus 6x. I'm going to skip a little space here to complete the square. Minus 1 minus 1 equals negative 3. Now we take half of the linear term. Excuse me. Half of 6 is 3. And then we square it. 3 squared is 9. Right? Right. And remember, whatever you do to one side, we just added 9 to this side of the equation. So we have to add 9 to this side of the equation, plus 9. This is a perfect square because we made it that way. It's x plus 3, all squared, equals negative 3 plus 9 is 6. Right? Right. Okay. And okay, let me do another one. If we have x squared minus 8x plus 3 equals negative 7. Again, the first thing we do is we move the constant to the other side. And we get this. X squared minus 8x. We'll leave a little space here to complete the square. Equals negative 10. Now we take half of 8. Excuse me. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. Remember, what we did is we took half of negative 8 and squared it. Half of negative 8 is negative 4. 4 squared is 16. Okay, we just made this a perfect square, and it is x minus 4 all squared equals, was it 6? Okay? Okay. What could be more fun than circles? Okay. Now, what is wrong with my throat? Other than old age. What's a good Diet Coke? Okay, this is a real deal, Neil. What if we have this? X squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 8y plus 9 equals 0. We're going to group these together, group the x's and the y's, and we're going to move the constant to the other side. We're going to do this all at once. We're going to subtract 9 from each side, and then we're going to get the x's together and the y's together. So we have x squared plus 6x plus y squared, excuse me, plus 8y equals negative 9. Right? Right. Now we're going to make perfect squares out of each of these. First of all, we're going to take, excuse me, half of 6. So we have x squared plus 6x. Half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So we're going to add 9 to this side. So remember, we have to add 9. We have to add 9 to this side. Plus y squared plus 8y. Take half of this. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. We're going to add 16. Excuse me, boy, I bet y'all tired of hearing that. Okay, this is a perfect square because we just made it one. It's x plus 3 all squared plus y plus 4 all squared equals negative 9 plus 9 is 0, plus 16 is 16. Does this look familiar? This is the equation of a circle. So our center is negative h, negative k. So our center is going to be negative 3, comma, negative 4. And our radius is 4, the square root of that. Oh, what a bonehead. Sorry. I'll do better. If this doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, give me a minute. After we do a few, you're gonna get this. It's gonna be real simple. Now the next one is if we have x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 12y plus 2 equals negative 2. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to group the x's and the y's together. We're going to do groupage. There's no such word as groupage. Yeah, okay. And at the same time, we're going to move the constant to the other side. So we get x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 12y equals, I'm going to subtract 2 from each side, equals a negative 4. Okay, now we're going to take each one of these and we're going to turn them into perfect squares. Excuse me. And the way we do that is we take half of this. So we take x squared minus 4x. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we're going to add 4 to that side. And we're going to add 4 to this side. Okay? Plus y squared plus 12y. Take half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. We added 36 to this side, so we have to add 36 to this side. Each one of these are perfect squares. This is x minus 2 squared. Okay, this is this. Plus y, what is it, 6? Plus 6, all squared. And what you can do in order to get this negative 2 and negative 6, you can take half of this, half of that will give you that. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Maybe I ought to move that down here. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0, plus 36 is 36. So the center of our circle, negative h, negative k, a negative 2 is a positive 2, and negative k, negative of positive is a negative 6, and the radius is 6. Let's see how we're doing on time here. Okay. Okay. Now, another one. Excuse me. X squared plus y squared más 8y. No, stupid boy. Plus 8x minus 6y plus 10 equals negative 6. Right? Right. So we're going to group the x's and y's together. So we have x squared plus 8x, okay, that and that. I'm going to put the y's together, plus y squared minus 6y. And we're going to move the constant to the other side, equals negative 16. Now we complete the squares of each one of these. So we have x squared plus 8x. Now we take half of the linear term. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other. Plus y squared minus 6y. Take half of the 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. We added 9 to this side of the equation, so we have to add 9 to this side of the equation. These are perfect squares. This is x plus 4 all squared. It's a 4 there. Plus y minus 3 all squared. And remember, you can get these numbers, the 4 and the negative 3, by taking half of the linear term. Equals, maybe I ought to bring this 16, negative 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. That's 9. So the center of our circle, C-E-N-T-E-R, is negative 4, comma, positive 3, negative h, negative k, and the radius is 3. Okay? Not so tough, huh? Take a drink of your Diet Coke. Okay? Now again, we're gonna group these together and move the constant to the other side. Okay, so we have x squared minus 6x you know what, let's kind of skip a step here. Let's leave a little space here so we can complete the square. Plus y squared, where am I? Plus 10y, skip a little space to complete the square, equals negative 25. Now we take half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9, so we add 9 there, add 9 there. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Okay, this is a perfect square. It is x minus 3 all squared plus y plus 5 all squared equals 25 minus 25 is 0 equals 9. So our center is, what is that, 3 comma negative 5, and our radius is the square root of 9, which is 3. Say it. Say it. Oh, Johnny, you're such a smart boy. Yeah, right. Okay. Get this up here so smart. X squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 6y plus 10 equals negative 4. Okay, we're going to group these together. Move the constant to the other side. So we're going to get x squared. Where am I? X, y, x squared plus 2x. Skip a little space here to complete the square. Plus y squared minus 6y. Subtract 10 from each side. Skip a little space to complete the square, equals negative 14. Now half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Okay, we added 1 to this side, so we have to add 1 to that side. And we take half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. Okay, this is x plus 1 all squared. Is that right? Yeah. Plus y minus 3 all squared equals, let's see, 1 and 9 is 10, equals a negative 4. Can we have this? Can we have our radius as a stupid boy? Can we have our radius as a negative number? No. So this is undefined, or it's not a real circle. Okay, wasn't that fun? Good stuff, huh? You can see that these things are really not very difficult to do. Complete the square, move the constant to the other side, and then put the things in the equation of a circle. And that's basically all there is to it. It's really pretty simple. All right, y'all have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye, Bonds.